Israel-Hamas war live breaking point as Gaza's fuel runs out. Hundreds of foreign passport holders have left the Gaza Strip to Egypt through the Rafah crossing. The United States has helped more than 400 U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, and other eligible people to depart Gaza, a State Department spokesperson said. An initial group of Canadian nationals and their dependents have been evacuated from the Gaza Strip, Canadian officials said. Officials told AFP as many as 80 were on a list to exit the territory through Rafah, out of more than 400 Canadians registered to leave. More than 100 French nationals and their dependents have been evacuated from the Gaza Strip, the Foreign Ministry in Paris said. 100 Egyptians passed through the Rafah crossing, an Egyptian security source said. Jordan's foreign ministry said 262 Jordanians were evacuated, out of a total of 569 that had been stuck in Gaza. In a letter to presidents of U.S. colleges and universities, Israeli President Herzog stated a clear demand that any incidents of support or sympathy for the actions of Hamas terrorists be dealt with as a matter of urgency, according to his office. In the letter, Herzog called for presidents to show moral leadership and to condemn Hamas publicly and unequivocally. Students and faculty, I believe, also need a clear voice saying that free speech is of the highest value, but speech promoting violence against individuals or groups and calls for the elimination of a whole country, Israel, are unacceptable on campus and should not be tolerated, he said. The letter comes as pro-Palestinian and pro-Israel protests have roiled campuses across the U.S. Students have reported an array of both anti-Jewish and Islamophobic hate incidents. Meanwhile, some students, groups, and faculty have faced censure for their comments, as pressure has grown on administrators to respond. Many protesters have accused those condemning their actions of conflating criticism of Israel or calls for the end of occupation with support of Hamas. Meanwhile, the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, has warned against politically motivated efforts to police speech on campus. Al Jazeera has spoken to survivors of several Israeli attacks in Gaza. Here's what they had to say. Hadil Mohammed Abdallah Al says she, like any woman in the world, wants nothing but security and peace. I'm a civilian. I have nothing to do with anything. We've seen the worst part of the war. They've bombarded our street. They shelled our next-door neighbors and targeted the water tanks, she told Al Jazeera. It is the miracle of all miracles to still be alive, Abdallah said, standing inside one of Gaza's remaining hospitals that is still operational. We have escaped certain death, she said. Similarly, Abu Arar says he and his family are civilians and defenseless. He recalled how an attack on a nearby building destroyed the entire area he lived in. No one in the world can force us to leave Gaza. We'll stay in Gaza, and our children will stay in Gaza, he said. 3 Palestinian rights groups have warned that people in Gaza are facing imminent genocide along with mass forced displacement and ethnic cleansing, calling for an immediate ceasefire in the besieged coastal enclave. The Israeli military offensive has caused the largest mass displacement of Palestinians in such a short period of time since the 1948 Nakba. Around 1,500,000 Palestinians, or about 65% of Gaza's population, are now internally displaced inside Gaza. Al-Mezan, Al-Haq, and the Palestinian Center for Human Rights, PCHR, said in a statement. The group said the displacement has been caused by Israeli evacuation orders and relentless bombardments, with Israel's military offensive causing the largest mass displacement of Palestinians in such a short period of time since the 1948 Nakba. As we write, the threat of mass forced displacement into Egypt and ethnic cleansing of more than 2 million Palestinians lingers imminent, they said. It is imperative that the international community take immediate action to stop Israel's revengeful military campaign against Gaza and prevent the attempted forced displacement of Palestinians. Over the past month, the world's attention has been almost exclusively focused on the Gaza Strip. More than 10,000 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli army in the besieged territory since October 7. Some 24,800 others, including 10,000 children, have been injured, and 1.5 million people, some 60% of the population, have been forcibly displaced. But as the attacks on Gaza continue, Israel and Israeli settlers have simultaneously intensified their violence against Palestinians beyond the enclave. Read our explainer on the situation outside of Gaza here.